Hello everyone. A very warm good morning to all of you. I hope you are in best of your spirits. So today is session 2 in the series of prelims practice questions on art and culture. I am Purti Garg, a national memory champion and a UPSC mentor. And we have already covered Harappan art and architecture in first session, that is from question 1 to question 10. Today we will be covering modern art and architecture, question number 11 to question number 20. I am uploading 10 questions daily, and with these series I'll try to cover complete Nitin Singhania book, all the important chapters of Nitin Singhania book one by one, so it will be easy for you to retain the facts. Okay, so we have started with chapter 1, that is Indian architecture, sculpture and pottery. So let's start with question 11 today. And yes, please like the videos if you are finding them helpful, share them with your friends, and subscribe the channel if you have not done it yet. And please give your scores in the comment section below, your answers, how many you have got correct, etc, etc. And please give your feedbacks also. It motivates us to work harder for you guys, right? So the question 11 says, consider the following statements in context to the pillars during the time of Ashoka. So we are talking about the pillars over here. The first statement says the pillars were usually made of red sandstone. Second, they were independently erected by royal diction. Third, they were made up of a single piece of stone, unlike Achaemenian pillars. Which of the above given statement or statements is or are correct? The first statement, first option is 1 and 2 only, then 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, or all the above. So you can pause the video, take your time, solve the question, and then you can match your answer with the one I am giving you. Okay, so I'm telling you the answers here itself. The first statement is wrong because the pillars were usually made up of Chunar sandstone and not red sandstone, right? So first statement is wrong. Second is correct, they were independently erected. And the third statement is also correct, as the Ashokan pillars were monoliths. They were made up of a single piece of stone. Whereas Achaemenian pillars, they were made up of various pieces of sandstone attached together, right? And also Ashokan pillars were independently erected, whereas Achaemenian pillars were generally attached to state buildings. So these two are the basic differences between Ashokan pillars and the Achaemenian pillars. So here the correct answer is option B, that is 2 and 3. So I have given you the answer over here. This is Ashokan pillar. So as you can see, there is a long shaft also which forms the base. On the top of it lay the capital. Capital is either lotus shaped or the bell shaped, as you can see over here. Capital is lotus shaped or bell shaped, and this bell shaped capitals were influenced by the Iranian pillars. Okay. And these were highly polished, very lustrous finish was there, and above the capital there was a abacus. This is abacus, which is generally circular or rectangular, and on the abacus there is an animal figure, like you can see here. So this is the description of Ashokan pillar. Lauriya Nandangarh pillar in Champaran, Sarnath pillar in Varanasi. These are the famous pillars, Ashokan pillars, right? Question number 12. Identify the correct statements from the following with reference to stupas. Now we are done with the Ashokan pillars. Now the question is talking about the stupas in the Mauryan period. They were prevalent in India from Indus Valley period. Second, they were popularized by Buddhists. And third, the art of stupas reached its climax during the period of Ashoka. So 2 only, 1 and 3 only, 2 and 3 only, or all the above. Pause the video, solve the question, take your time, I'm telling you the answer. So the first statement, they were prevalent in India from Indus Valley period. This is wrong because in Indus Valley period, the stupas were not there. They have started from the Vedic period. So the stupas, they were prevalent in India from Vedic period. The second statement is correct. They were popularized by Buddhists. And the third statement is also correct, that the art of stupas reached its climax during the period of Ashoka. So statements 2 and 3 are correct. That means the C option is correct. So here is the answer. The first statement, as I told you, it is in the Vedic period. This is a stupa. Now, there are many other things related to stupa, the different parts like Anda, Harmika, Toran, etc. and their architectural features also. So in the upcoming questions, I'll be discussing all of them. So the 13th question talks about the parts of stupa. Arrange the following parts of stupa from top to bottom. Okay, the first is Harmika, then Yashti, Toran and Chhatra. So the options are given to you: 4 1 2 3, 4 2 1 3, 2 4 1 3 or 3 4 2 1. Solve the question, pause the video, take your time. I'm telling you the answer. See, with the help of a figure, I'll explain it to you. The first, on top of the stupa, like these three are the chhatras. Then this pillar form of thing or the stand type of thing is yashti. Then this is harmika. So as you can see, chhatras are the topmost part. As the question says, arrange the following parts of stupa from top to bottom. Okay, so the topmost part is chhatras, as you can see over here. So that means the answer starts from option 4. So A and B, one of the answers from A or B will be the answer. So you can eliminate these two. This is the elimination technique. Okay, now after chhatras we have yashti, then harmika. So harmika is 1. That means 4, 1, 2 and 3. A is the correct option. We have stairways, we have upper walkway, which is also known as Medhi, where the pedestrians walk. Then this is Anda. Okay, this is Anda. And here we have Toran, the gateways. These are Toran, that is the gateways. So this is the structure of stupas. So 4, 1, 2, 3, Chhatra, Harmika, Anda and Toran. These are the parts of stupa from top to bottom. The next question says, consider the following statements in context to the architectural features of stupas. A very important question. The first statement says the core of the stupa was made up of burnt bricks. The second says the Medhi and Toran were decorated with wooden sculptures. And the third statement is Piparwa Stupa in Uttar Pradesh is the oldest one. Which of the above given statement or statements is or are correct? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, or all the above? Pause the video, take your time. I'm telling you the answer. The first statement is wrong because the core of the stupa were made up of unburnt bricks. Okay, the core of the stupa was made up of unburnt bricks, while the outer surface was made by using burnt bricks. So the first statement is wrong. The second is correct. The Medhi and Toran, they were decorated with wooden sculptures. And the third statement is also correct. Piparwa Stupa in Uttar Pradesh is the oldest one. Okay. So please keep this first point in mind that the core of stupa is made up of unburnt bricks and the outer surface was made by using burnt bricks. So the correct answer is option B, that is 2 and 3 only. 15th question. Select the correct statement or statements from the following with reference to the Mauryan architecture. First, this period saw the emergence of rock-cut cave architecture. Second, caves during this period were generally used as chatyas. And the third says the caves during Mauryan period were marked by a highly polished finish of the interior walls and decorative gateways. 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only. So pause the video, solve the question. The answer I'm telling you over here. The first statement is correct. The period saw the emergence of rock-cut cave architecture. The second statement that the caves during this period were generally used as chatyas is wrong because the caves during this period were generally used as viharas. What are viharas? Viharas were the residential place of the monks, Buddhist monks, residential place, whereas the chatyas, they were the prayer halls. Okay, so in the Mauryan period, in the Mauryan time, the caves were generally used as viharas and not as chatyas. So second statement is wrong. Third statement, the caves during Mauryan period were marked by a highly polished finish of the interior walls and decorative gateways. This is correct. So the answer is 1 and 3. That means D option. 1 and 3 only. So I have given you the answer over here also. As you can see, a very decorative gateway is here. This is the cave architecture, or you can see the structure, the architecture from the Mauryan period. Question 16. Consider the following statements. The sculptures were used primarily for the decoration of stupas. Yaksh and Yakshini were the two famous sculptures of the Mauryan period, and the earliest mention of Yakshini can be found in Silapatikaram. So Silapatikaram is a Tamil text. Take your time, solve the question. I'm telling you the answer. Which of the above given statement or statements is or are correct? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, or all the above? So the answers are, see the first statement, the sculptures were used primarily for the decoration of stupas. This is correct. Yaksh and Yakshini were the two famous sculptures of the Mauryan period. This is also correct. In the Mauryan period also we can see Yaksh and Yakshini, right? The third statement, the earliest mention of Yakshini can be found in Silapatikaram. This is also correct. Silapatikaram is a Tamil text and the earliest mention of Yakshini can be found there. So all the statements given here are correct. That means D is the correct option. You can see this Yakshini over here. And this Yaksh and Yakshini, these were objects of worship related to all the three religions. That is Jainism, Hinduism as well as Buddhism. So all these three religions, they worshipped Yaksha and Yakshini, right? 17th question. Identify the correct statements from the following with reference to the pottery during modern period. So can you see I am giving you questions from each and every subtopic. Pottery, stupas, sculpture, pillars, everything, so that we can finish it or we can complete all the areas of the particular topic. Now, the first statement is it is also known as painted graveware. Second, they were generally used as household items. And third, they were characterized by highly lustrous finish. One only, 1 and 3 only, 2 and 3 only, or all the above. So pause the video, solve the question. I'm telling you the correct answer. The first statement is correct. It is also known as painted graveware. Or if you remember, I have discussed in session 1 also that the pottery during modern period was also referred to as northern black polished ware. Northern black polished ware. Okay. So they were characterized by black paint and highly lustrous finish. So this is also correct. Statement 3, that they were characterized by highly lustrous finish. But statement 2 is wrong because they were generally used as luxury items. They were used as luxury items and not as household items. So 1 and 3 is the correct option. That is B option is the correct answer. So you can see this pottery during modern period. Question 18. Which of the following is or are associated with modern period? Punch-marked coins, ring wells, spoked wheel, or burnt bricks? 1, 2 and 3, 2, 3 and 4 only, 1 and 4 only, all the above. So take your time, solve the video, solve the question, pause the video. Solve the question, pause the video. And the correct answer I'm telling you, the correct answer is D, all the above. All these 4 features given here are associated with modern period. Punch-marked coins, ring wells, spoked wheel, burnt bricks. As I have told you that the core was made up of unburnt bricks while the outer surface was made up of burnt bricks. Just now we have discussed it. So these, you can see, these are the ring wells. This is the ring well, structure of a ring well. This is spoked wheel. Okay, so all the above is the correct answer. Question 19. Select the correct statements from the following with reference to or with respect to the Mauryan coins. The coins issued by the Mauryans are mostly copper. The most common symbols are the elephant, the tree in the railing symbol, and the mountain. The older coins were often reissued in the Mauryan period. 1 and 2 only, 1 and 3 only, 2 and 3 only, or all the above. So take your time, pause the video, solve the question. The correct answer is the coins issued by the Mauryans are mostly copper. This is wrong because the coins issued by the Mauryans are mostly silver. The coins issued by the Mauryans are mostly silver. Very few were made up of copper. So the correct answer is 2 and 3 only. That is the C option. First option is wrong. Second is correct. The most common symbols are the elephant, the tree in the railing symbol, and the mountain. The older coins were often reissued in the Mauryan period. Yes, this is very correct statement. So if you eliminate this first option, if you knew that the coins were made up of silver and not of copper, mostly not of copper, so you would have eliminated first option, second option, and third option. So sorry, fourth option. So 2 and 3 only is the correct answer. You can see the coins, the punch marked coins, etc. So the coins issued were mostly made up of silver and very few copper pieces of metal were there, right? The last question for today. Which of the following statement or statements is or are correct with respect to the palace of Chandragupta Maurya? It was inspired by the Achaemenid palaces in Iran. Second, wood was the principal building material. 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. So the correct answer is C, both 1 and 2. The palaces of Chandragupta Maurya, they were inspired by the Achaemenid palaces in Iran, and wood was the principal building material. So both the statements are correct. So this was all for today. Hope you have enjoyed the video and hope it helped you in retaining the facts. Please stay tuned for more upcoming videos. Tomorrow I'll be discussing postmodern art and architecture. That means again 10 questions from question 21 to question 30. So stay tuned. Have a good day. Thank you.